Well, guys, the further and further we get away from Spider-Man No Way Home's theatrical release, and the closer we get to the art book and the physical release of the film, the more we are finding out about previous iterations of the film, such as one that included Mysterio full-on being a villain in the third act of the film and fighting Doctor Strange. So again, I do want to say that this is from quite clearly early work on the film. This is those early concept arts and drafts that are more or less put together before the film ever gets in front of the camera. You know, this is when they're coming up with the concepts, the ideas. This is the stage where Venom would have still been in the film, because we've talked about that already. We can see that the Statue of Liberty was in that early stage of they're going to play around with what is it going to be, as we learned. And obviously here we see Doctor Strange, who is fighting Mysterio, and it is the same Mysterio played by Jake Gyllenhaal. Now again, there was plenty of reports early on that Mysterio would be featured in this film, but as the film continued to evolve, they realized that they had to scale back some of the villains that they were going to include in the final film because it got to be a little bit too much. I honestly think ditching Mysterio was the smart thing. Despite the fact that he is my absolute favorite Spider-Man villain of all time, I don't think he would have fit the story they had going on here. And this right here, very early on, you can tell that this was still when everybody figured, no, the character's still alive. And he very well could still be alive, because there's plenty of evidence to support it. Maybe he just hid out during the events. So again, I think this is something that they were looking at the story. They were definitely going to keep Mysterio around and make sure that he played a pivotal part in the role. But as it continued to evolve, as more and more people agreed to be in the film, as the script got way bigger, you just had to realize that we cannot use this idea in its entirety, or it's going to get just really bogged down in all the semantics and, you know, nonsense that we have going on here that we have to still explain to everybody. Tossing more on top of that just isn't really the name of the game, I would say. And I honestly do think that it would have been cool to see this. Like, it would have been amazing to see what they could have pulled off with Mysterio, especially him going, you know, toe-to-toe with Doctor Strange, because obviously one of them is real and the other one is just using like illusions that he's able to come up with. But I think it would have been a cool aspect of it. Or who knows, maybe this version of Mysterio was from the multiverse and he was actually some sort of magician. But I guess we'll never know for now unless they release more details.